What's up, everybody? Welcome to Brandon's Face. It's the podcast about a playlist. I'm Jonathan Beardsley.
And I am Brandon May.
Thanks for tuning in. As always, we have a lot to talk about. But before we dive into the playlist this week, let's touch on a few news items, shall we?
Let's do it.
First, today is the 10-year anniversary of RTJ1. How do you feel about this one looking back?
I think it was the 26th, but yeah, that album, man, like,
Yeah,
I don't think I'll ever forget my first time listening to that full album.
No, man. Same. I would like to pretend that I was cool enough to know LP before that stuff, but I did not. I knew Killer Mike's most recent album, Rap Music, at the time.
Yep.
But I had not really dug into LP much, and I remember just spinning this one to death, particularly the song DDFH, Do Dope, Fuck Hope. Absolute banger. But that whole album it still hits. I think RTJ2 is still my favorite of theirs, but RTJ1's always going to have a special place in my heart.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, fucking Blockbuster. Or no, that's Run the Jewels too. 36-inch Chain is fucking great,
Yep.
bro. Christmas fucking Miracle, and then they dropped
Sea Legs.
And then they dropped was it RTJ2 or RTJ3 on Christmas Day?
RTJ2, I believe, was a Christmas Day one. I think RTJ3 was a couple years later.
Yeah, man. Sea Legs is fucking great. Banana Clipper's fucking great, man. This whole album
Banana Clipper's so good.
This whole album can fucking get it. Yeah, man. 10 years. It's crazy. It's crazy that it's been 10 years.
It also has the song Run the Jewels on the album Run the Jewels by the group Run the Jewels.
They pulled the Black Sabbath with their song Black Sabbath by the band Black Sabbath on the album Black Sabbath.
Only the greats are allowed to do that.
Right, exactly.
Second, the Chemical Brothers are releasing a biography. It's titled Paused in Cosmic Reflection, and I imagine you'll be pre-ordering it if you have not already.
What makes you think I haven't already?
Yeah, I figured you had.
It comes there's a couple of different versions. I just got the book because I'm really just interested in what's in it, like hearing about their origin story and all of that. And I know a little bit of that lore, if you will, but I don't know nearly enough, and I'm very excited to get my hands on it. The ultra exclusive $150 or 130 UK pound Great British pound selection actually comes with a 7-inch of a track that's never been released by the Chemical Brothers. I'm sure I've heard it since I've seen them a bunch of times. It's called Super Flash. No, I didn't get that one. I just got the regular old $30 book.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do too. I'm very excited to read about their still ongoing legendary careers, but I'm really excited to know about that time in the 90s, you know?
They really are icons, man, and it's because their time in the 90s, I think. And, you go back, and my introduction to the Chemical Brothers was in 2011 when my boy Jesse threw on their album Further. And just that intro from Snow into Escape Velocity is oh my God, man. Like it kind of blew me away, man. And he was like, if you're going to Coachella this year, be sure to catch them. And I did, and my mind was just absolutely on the ground. Like my entire brain came out of my head.
You've caught them a lot of times since as well.
Yeah, in fact, the only time since then that they've come within 50 miles of me or 100 miles of me that I haven't seen them was actually this last year at Coachella, but I was able to catch the stream. So
I was gonna say we were there just digitally.
Right, exactly. We saw it. I watched it both weekends. So
which in 2023 is pretty much the same as being there.
Yeah.
In other news, Glastonbury was last weekend. Did you catch any of the performance videos on YouTube yet?
Oh yeah, man. Watched a little bit of the Foo Fighters, and I watched
surprise set, by the way.
Yeah. So I forget what they called themselves, but
I forget what they were listed.
It wasn't the Foo Fighters. I'll never forget Christopher Walken introducing them on SNL. Have you ever seen that video?
Yes.
He doesn't say the Foo Fighters. He says the Foo Fighters, and
Perfect.
And watched a little bit of Elton John's set. Watched. I wasn't able to watch the stream, but I was able to watch some of the YouTube videos that they were
uploaded. Yeah.
I don't have a UK TV license Oi,
Well,
you got a license for
thankfully,
that TV?
what do they call it? Goggle box or whatever they do over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thankfully the BBC official YouTube channel has been uploading a fair amount of content from the festival, which seemed to
Yep.
be a fun one this year, albeit with a little bit of drama. I didn't catch much. I only caught a few, just like you. But the one that stood out to me was Rina Sawayama's performance, who called out Matt Healy for his racist comments before going into her song STFU. She also used Blind by Korn as the intro into it and Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit as the outro to it.
Which is
And it was
honestly fucking perfect. I love
fucking
Blind.
awesome, dude. It was perfect, man. I don't think that her performance of that particular song was uploaded to the official BBC YouTube, but you can find it online pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
I've never really dug into her music, but maybe it's time I start because that shit was impressive.
And honestly, she sounds right up your alley. I too have never dug into her music, but seems pretty neat. The fact she's using Korn and Limp Bizkit. That's an
Yep.
interesting choice. Elton John's final show apparently was Glastonbury, if I'm not
Final
mistaken.
UK show.
I see. I see you. I see you,
There's a lot
Elton
of
John.
caveats with this final tour that he's been doing for like 2 years.
Right, right. And then he actually released because he played the Pyramid Stage, which is iconic in festivals nowadays. But
Hmm.
he actually released a special vinyl variant of, I believe, his last album. It could be live recordings. I could be wrong here, but it's the period variant and pyramid variant rather, and it's really fucking beautiful. It looks
That's
really
fucking
neat.
tight. I'll have to check that out. I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a legend. I love Elton John.
oh yeah, Elton John's a fucking legend, man.
Who I do not love is Lana Del Rey, who was 30 minutes late because her hair took too long to get ready and they cut her set about 7 songs short.
Good for them.
Way to fuck your fans.
Well, and then there's that whole drama that she did when the Glastonbury like lineup came out. Her name wasn't big enough. I don't know if you remember that
Oh
drama
my
happening, but her name
God.
wasn't big enough, so she made a big old stink about it. And her fans are just slightly less. What's the word? Voracious than
Sure.
than Beyonce and Taylor Swift's fan base. So I believe she actually did get, and I could be wrong here, but I believe she actually did get a higher or a bigger font on her name, which whatever.
Her fans are too in to cut out to really have much of an intense reaction to anything. But
Oh
I
man.
support it. Anything else you want to talk about before we begin?
Oh yeah, actually, Hawthorne Heights just announced that they are doing
Oh
an
yeah.
emo orchestra tour. I just texted you about this, what, like an hour or two
Yes.
ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, man, I'm fucking stoked for it. I'm definitely buying tickets to the local show that they're doing around me, which is fucking awesome. It's right down the street from me. And they're not only going to be doing their songs, they're going to be playing Dashboard Confessional, Taking Back Sunday tracks, and it's going to be, I think the quote in the Consequence article was a little more pop punk, little less sunny day real estate, which is okay. We
Okay.
we, we,
I'll
we, we,
take
we,
that.
we know that from Hawthorne Heights.
Of course. It's fucking crazy that they're playing literally 2 minutes from where I used to live
Right,
out
straight
there.
up.
When I told my wife about that, she was like, "That's so weird because that's pretty much where you would go to like the Nutcracker and stuff when you were in school."
They're
Like,
they're they're doing Les Miserables. Well, how do you say that in French? Les
I think you said it
Miserables.
right. Yeah. Yes. You have to hit the lace on that. No, I think it's Les Miserables.
There you
I
go.
think you had it right the first time.
All right.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking sick. Also, the lineups for Splash House dropped today, and they are A plus.
Yeah, man. Lee Foss is on that lineup. If anybody's going to that first weekend, make sure you check out Lee Foss. But I'm gonna be real, man. The Odessa DJ set's gonna sell that one, but I mean, second weekend's where it's at, bro. You got an
Bro,
after
Chris
hour.
Lake and Channel Tress at
Yep.
the fucking Air Museum killed me. That's
Yup,
awesome.
absolutely, man. That's gonna be a fun time. Felix
Flight
to House
facilities.
Cat.
Yep. Oh, Felix, legend. That's
Yeah,
fucking
for
rad.
sure, absolutely. That's what I said. I was like, damn, they got Felix. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of good names. I think I saw Giobi on there too.
you
It's
sure
gonna
did.
Yeah, that might be the first one I would actually consider going to from that festival
It's
from
not
a
my scene,
financial
man.
standpoint.
It's not my
No,
scene,
pool
man.
parties aren't your scene.
It's not the pool party aspect. It's the type of people that bring that come out to that. No offense if you guys go,
You
but
could say John Summit fans. It's okay.
I'm just not a big fan of the John Summit fans. We went to one of the hotels that it was that it's hosted out the Saguaro in Palm Springs.
Hmm.
One
Good
day
Mexican
of
restaurant in there.
a great Mexican restaurant in there actually. Like the day it had already packed up and everybody had already moved to the air museum, but man, it was kind of it was you could like feel the energy like even after the music had stopped. It was pretty neat, man.
Called
I'm sure
drugs.
it's a
Yeah.
I'm sure it smelled like MDMA over there. The grass was just emitting it. It's gonna be hot as fuck. Anybody who goes, please wear sunscreen.
I was sweeping up at work today and I swept under a bench and there was like a little it was probably like a like a allergy pill or something.
Like an empty
And it
cap or what?
no, no, just like a pressed powder pill,
There you
but
go.
it definitely made remind me of, oh man, if you were to find this at a rave when you're like 20 years old, you don't even think about it. That's
Nope.
yours.
Pop, pop it in. We're about to have a good Saturday.
Yes, I threw it away like a like the 36-year-old man I am because it was probably an Advil or some shit. All right, you ready to dive in, man?
Let's dive in, bro. We've got a good week.
First up this week, we got I know this sounds weird, but we got a new one from Aphex Twin.
Right?
It is called Black Box Life Recorder 21F. This is the first song off his upcoming EP, which I think is only going to be like three or
Forest
four
tracks or
songs,
something, yeah.
but already sounded like classic Aphex Twin, just ethereal breakbeat throughout. I loved it. What about you?
Man, Aphex Twin is one of the most enigmatic producers of our time. He gives zero fucks about the genre, and I think that's going to do it for him.
Hmm.
He makes some really neat music. I'm stoked for the full EP. I really liked this song. Really,
I
really
sent you
liked
what
this track.
the vinyl packaging looks like, right?
Yeah, I'm not spending $40 for 4 tracks.
No, but the way it all comes together to form like the logo with
Yep.
different shit is and kind of looks 3D. That shit's pretty rad.
Super, super artistic, like he is.
Like you'd expect,
Right.
exactly. Moving on, we got a new one from Jungle and Channel Tress called "I've Been in Love." You digging this one?
Fuck yeah, I am, man. Look, man, this track is great. Obviously, Channel though actually shows off a little bit of range that we haven't heard from him to
Hmm.
date. This track is fucking great, bro. I really like this song.
Yeah, man. Give me Channel Tress vocals over a Jungle instrumental any day of the week, and I will happily take it.
Straight up.
Got a new one from Maddie on. It's been a while. This one's called "Gonna Be Good." I don't know how he does it, but he always manages to make every new song he releases sound like it's been part of his discography all along somehow. Like, I've only heard this song a few times, but I feel like I've heard it a million times. It's instantly recognizable. I don't know about instantly iconic, but I dug it. What about you?
It's okay. I guess I don't know. I
A
feel
little
what you're
too
saying.
poppy?
It's just it's not my thing on this one.
The visuals with this one live are sick because this is the one he uses that
Yep.
like the raised platform and it looks like he's on the mountain and shit. I think he did this one at Coachella. Did he play Coachella?
Not last year, the year before.
That's right. He's been playing this one for a
Long
while.
time, yeah.
He's due. Good Faith came out in 2019. I would be happy to get a new album from him now.
Same. I'm sure it would be good.
But is he getting a little too indie pop for you and not enough EDM or what?
I think that's it, man.
Yeah, I could see that. I think I've just grown to really love what him and Porter have become, but I don't really consider it EDM anymore.
It's electronic.
Yes, it's intelligent pop music. IPM.
IPM. Shut up.
All right, man. We got a new one from Rez and Raven Gray called Embers. How you feeling about this one?
This is a little calm for a res track, but it actually is pretty neat.
Yeah, I like this one, but it's getting a little formulaic and a lot less noise punk than I was expecting following Blue in the Face, even though I think this will be on the same upcoming EP that is still unnamed and no release date. But I dug it. It's just you know what you're gonna get with Rez at this point. If you like one song, you'll
Right.
probably like them all. This isn't her best, but it's a good one.
Agreed.
All right. Got a new one from Slumberjack and What's So Not called How are you feeling about it?
This is the first What's So Not track I've heard in a long time. I've never heard of
Yeah.
Slumberjack, but this is a cool trap track. It's not the best I've ever heard, but it's interesting. This is trap before trap became trap. It's the
Yeah,
trap before trap.
it's a little derivative of like Skin Era Flu, but
Yeah.
it's a good song. Got a new one from Gareth Emery and Sarah DeWarin called Vertigo. You digging this one?
Man, this is a great track, but holy shit, is it short? It like
Yeah,
barely has time to
especially for
breathe.
Gareth.
Give it like 6 minutes, man.
Do you think he's already figuring out how many lasers he can use during the upcoming performance?
The what is the Mean Girls quote? The number doesn't exist.
That has become true for his Laser City shows, definitely. Got a new Eats Everything remix of Lose My Mind by Jamie Jones. I dug this one. It's more of a festival vibe than a club vibe like the original, which I think is more my speed. What about you?
An Eats Everything remix of Jamie Jones is something I didn't know I needed in my life this week, but man, is this fucking great.
Now you know.
Now I know.
We got a new Jejotronic song. Fuck yeah. So
Oh
this is
my
his new
god.
one, Computer Boys. I imagine you're loving this one as much as me.
Oh yeah, Jejo is back at it again with the weird kind of techno, but not really sound that we know him for. And man, this is really neat. You think we'll get a full project?
God, I hope so, man. It's been a little while. This song fucking rules, man. It's a
Hell
little
yeah.
little Daft Punk, little Boys Noise, all Jejotron.
Right, exactly. Exactly. He gets it, man.
Love it. Got a new one from Boris, who I think hasn't released a song since around Coachella. This is SpaceX. Not sure how I feel about him naming it after Elon's stupid space company, but it doesn't take away from it being a great track. What were your thoughts on it?
To be fair, I think he's from Europe, and I don't think that SpaceX might. I mean, I don't know how prevalent it is out there, but yeah, man, this is another track this week that's just way too short. I love this one though, and I hope we get like an extended mix at some point. This will absolutely just destroy in any of his DJ sets.
Yeah,
But my
as
man,
will all of his songs.
give it 6 minutes. Like,
Yeah, I really don't like the TikTokification of music, man.
come
It's not
on, man.
not doing me any favors. All right, we got a Josh Wink Strings remix of Belgium by Mark Romboy. How you feeling about this one?
Fuck yeah, we do. Josh Wink is a fucking master at producing techno, man. This track is fucking sick, and they take their time, man. 7 minutes, 17 seconds.
Mhm.
This is a great track, man.
I agree with you 100%. Can I throw one little criticism out?
Please.
There's not enough strings for it to be called a strings remix. Just
I
call it the
agree.
Josh Wink remix, call it a day. My
I agree.
expectations would be raining. I was like waiting for some just wall of strings to hit me at some point. Never happened.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Absolutely, 100%. There should have just been like a Giorgio by Marauder style,
Yes.
just
Yes.
violin fucking epicness, just like right in the middle of it, and then gotten back to what the meat and potatoes was. I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're gonna do a strings remix, throw some strings in there. All right, I'm gonna have you tell me about this next one because while I did my notes, this song was grayed out for like 4 days. This Good Life Elderbrook song. So I think I caught it the night you added it when I previewed it, but shortly after I lost connection, and I'm just now seeing that it's available to listen to again. So walk me
Prob-
through this one.
Probably because they finally cleared the sample, which is something that I mean it's either an interpolation or a sample. I can't quite put my finger on it. I'd love for you to tell me. You can probably get it right off the tip of your nose here, but yeah, it's a good song. It's 2 minutes and 47 seconds. I love Elderbrook, and Good Life is I don't know what Good Life is, but it's the song title and the artist title, so I don't really
And
know what
it's
it
the
is.
only song by this artist. It's very weird.
It's definitely
Might be an
weird.
alias, actually.
Could be.
Yeah, I'll have to look more into it. I'll listen to it after this and let you know if I can tell what the sample is.
I think you will. I think it's just right on the tip of my tongue, and it's just not happening.
We got a new Martin Solveig song, this one with Fauzia called Now or Never. I feel like we've been getting a lot of new Martin this year, right?
Yeah, man, and god damn it, he's just the goat of pop EDM for a long time for me. His DJ sets are full of
Fair.
energy. I'll forever stand Martin Solveig, bro.
Yes, the GOAT of mid 2010s dance pop EDM. We
There you
should
go.
specify
There you
that.
go.
Yeah, he kills it with that. No different here. Got a new one from Latrell, the extended mix, of course, of Sunrise Song. I shouldn't be surprised at how beautiful the keys on this track are since it's released on Anjuna Beats, but they get me every time I listen to it, man. It's
Right.
great. How are you feeling about it?
God damn, this track is beautiful, man. The subtle piano, the drums he used, the way the bass builds, just stunning.
Yeah, he gets it. We've reviewed a few Latrell tracks over the past few weeks, and they've all been great.
Yep.
Got a new one from Tyga and Kolsch called Hand in Hand. I imagine this one just made you freak out when you saw it on your release radar.
Bro, this is an unlikely collab, but oh man, does it fucking hit. You can
Yeah.
hear both of them and their styles mesh really well together. Dear God, this was a good track.
Yeah, I actually think that this one is great. I think it'd be perfect without the vocals. The vocals are the only thing on it I think that are holding it back a little bit. Maybe there are other people's taste, but excellent instrumental, and I expected no less from them.
Right.
Got a new one from Gloria Kim called Back to the Start. She is in her bedroom indie pop bag with this one. I'm here for it, man. What about you?
I don't think she's ever released a song I've disliked.
No, she's too good for that.
What a run, man. This track is obviously no exception. Her voice is just so comforting, you know?
Yes, it is, man. She kills it. All right, let's move into the hip hop realm of things for a little bit here. We got a new one from Stormzy and Fredo called Toxic Trait. I thought Stormzy murdered this one with his verse. The stupid goat sample is the only thing I did not like about it. I'm not too familiar with Fredo. He wasn't too bad other than the horrendous Family Guy line in his verse. Other than that, I really dug this one. What about you?
This track would have been perfect without that goat sample.
Yeah, that really brings it down a star,
It
too.
really does, man.
Stormzy always has to push things a little too far, but I guess that's how progress is made.
Yeah.
Got a new one from Ellie Dalla and Freddie Gibbs called Papadoo Platter. Have you heard of Papadoo?
No, what does Papa do?
So I think it's like a southern chain of restaurants. It's catfish, waffles, like all of that type of
Oh yeah.
stuff. But we do not have it, I don't think, anywhere close to the West Coast. But I've heard it's very popular and that they are thinking of expanding, which, from what I'm seeing a reaction to, would quote unquote make it not worth it anymore.
I see.
But yeah, that's where the name comes from. How you feeling about the song itself?
He actually released the album that this track is on just a couple days ago. Honestly, I like both of their verses on this one. It's laid back, it's well written, immaculately produced. I really like this one, man.
Yeah, man, it was good. Freddie on these like more down tempo beats where you can pick out all the things he's saying just kills it, man. Every
Yeah.
single
Oh
time.
yeah.
Got moving into the R&B realm of things. So we got this track Charismatic by Haley Knox. I found this girl a few weeks ago when I was looking for some new R&B, and I've had this song on repeat ever since, so I figured I would show it to you as well. Her other songs are great too, but I love this one, so I wanted you to hear it. What'd you think about it?
This might surprise you, bro. This is my song of the week.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit, an
e-
R&B song of the week.
Every
Yes.
time this track came on, I had to look who it was. You mentioned we haven't covered Haley before.
No,
That was
we've
one of my
never
questions
covered
here.
it. Nope.
I've got some homework to do because this is a banger.
Yeah, man. I added a few of her songs to my modern R&B playlist. She's got a track called Available for Me, another one called A Boy Named Pluto. This is her most recent song though. I don't think she's dropped an album since 2018 and it's a mixtape. So
Nice.
hopefully we get more from her soon. If this is any indication, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is a great song.
Can't believe it's your song of the week. That's fucking awesome.
I kept coming back to it like you. Just been on repeat.
It's an addictive. I had a few this week that were like, I had to change my song of the week literally like 2 days ago just because I was like, this was a tough one, man. Moving on, we got Money Long, Hours and Hours with the Usher remix. Do you know how good an R&B song has to be for the GOAT to jump on it like this, dude? Like, what a victory lap for the Grammy Award winning artist and song. it's perfect. I would literally give this remix another Grammy if I could. Did you enjoy it?
They took a great track and turned it into a collab that will be talked about and listened to for a very long time.
Yes, they did. He's been doing his Vegas residency, and he did this song the other night, but they like dropped the instrumental, and he just did his verse pretty much a cappella, and it was fucking incredible. He's like just standing on a table in the crowd doing this, by the way.
God damn.
Usher is one of one, and still looks like he's 20 fucking years old somehow. It's insane.
Wow.
All right, moving on. We got two tracks from Mahalia. She just played Glastonbury, actually, and both of these songs, the live videos, are on the BBC page. This is Terms and Conditions and Cheat featuring JoJo. Both of these tracks are fire. They are the lead singles for her upcoming album IRL that's scheduled to drop July 14th. I've been following Mahalia for a while, but I haven't really been keeping up with her as closely as I should have. But my wife is a big fan of JoJo, so Cheat ended up on her release radar. Within minutes of her playing that song around me, I had to go back and see what I'd been missing. Both of these radiate that like early 2000s R&B energy that I can't get enough of, and I'm fucking excited to hear this album in full. What about you?
So the cover art for Terms and Conditions is fucking hilarious.
It's
Oh
very
man,
funny.
just that this track just oozes confidence and just fuck you energy. I love it.
Hmm.
Cheat is pretty good, but Terms and Conditions just kind of blew Cheat out of the water for me.
I knew that you would see Cheat and be like, God damn it, another R&B song about Cheat. Oh man. Yeah, her voice is fucking great. And it's crazy to see how responsive and how big the crowd was for her. They definitely appreciate some R&B out there as well.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Let's move on to the rock realm of things, starting with some indie and some pop. This is the new one from Dominic Fike, Mama's Boy. I've enjoyed almost everything he's released up until this point, but I don't get this one, man.
I
Nothing on this one is working for me. None of it comes together. I do not like it. What about you?
I actually really loved it. I'm just kidding. I did not like
Oh,
this
I
song
know
at
you
all.
did not. It's impossible to, dude. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing here. I'm hoping that the album is more of the older stuff, less of this.
We'll see.
Moving on, we got two new songs from Boys Like Girls, Language and Blood and Sugar. How you feeling about them?
You know, who had Boys Like Girls on their bingo card for 2023? I'll tell you who. Anyone who's been paying attention, maybe. I think people underestimate how absolutely massive Boys Like Girls got in
Huge.
2006 with their release of their self-titled. They were on the radio all the fucking time. These tracks are
Yep.
very new era Fall Out Boy, but I'm okay with them. Is there a new project on the way? I haven't really looked, but I will definitely listen to it for sure.
It was 2009, but they got a fucking song with Taylor Swift. Like they got huge, man.
Huge, big.
Yeah, man. I don't know how I feel about these. This is like yacht rock for millennials who can't even afford a house, but it's got some nice vibes to it. All right, man.
Stupid.
Let's move on. We got a new one from Beck and Phoenix called Odyssey. How are you feeling about this one? I was a little confused on it.
So I actually really like this song, even though I haven't liked really anything either of these two groups have done recently. But what I like
Same.
about both of them is both of these artists are is there in spades on this song. There you've got that Phoenix bass line, you've got that Phoenix kind of keyboard, you've got that weird drum loop that Beck is really good at, and then Beck's vocals. I mean, I actually really dug this song, man.
I thought it was fine. I think no matter what format it's in, I think you're a bigger fan of tropical infused music than me. And this is like tropical pop rock. And
Yes, most definitely.
I have trouble getting into that. So we've had this conversation about Kygo plenty of times with like tropical house. This is tropical house, but tropical rock. It's good. It's just not really my thing.
That's fair. I'm also a big fan of Beck and Old Phoenix, so
Beck, some of Beck's older shit hits, dude. Two turntables and a microphone. That song fucking rules.
oh, for sure.
All right, man. Let's move on. We got a new one from Faye Webster called "But Not Kiss." I'm loving everything about this one. I think it took me from casual fan to near stan levels of appreciation for her music. It is incredible. How you feeling about it?
This is a beautiful song. I love the melody. It's so simple and it's so fitting.
Yeah, her last album came out in 2021. I think this is just a single to release before going on tour. She's coming through Portland. I'm considering going.
You probably should, bro.
I probably should, but I still need to buy tickets to Movements and Mannequin Pussy too. So, decisions.
Ooh, I'd go movements.
Yeah, I'm gonna go movements. Of course, I'm gonna go movements, Brandon. All right. We got a new one from Woods called Between the Past. Talk to me about this one.
This is a band I've been following lately. Not very large, but it's kind of like Local Natives meets Broken Social Scene for me on this one.
I can see that.
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy this kind of indie.
So, much like my Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet rule, if a song sounds like it would be on the Big Little Lies soundtrack, then odds are I'm gonna like it. And this song definitely sounds like it could have been on the Big Little Lies soundtrack. So I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Oh my god.
We got a new one from Slow Dive. It's been a while since anybody's heard from them. The song's called Kisses. You digging it?
Fuck yeah, man. Are you a fan of Slow Dive?
I have never listened to enough to be a fan or not a fan, but I dug this. It's super gazy, but I really liked it.
Yeah, this is Shoegaze 101. I really dig their back catalog. They haven't released an album since 2017, and before that, it was like 1995 or something. So it's a treat that we get new Slow Dive. This is good. I really like this one. I think we've got a new album on the way.
There is the video of them doing this one live at Glastonbury up too. That one's really
Fuck
good.
yeah.
We got a new one from The Smile called Bending Hectic. I'm gonna just say it, man. This song fucking rules. I know it starts a little sleepy, but by the time the fucking menacing strings kick in, there is no going back. I really liked this one. I'm curious to know how you felt about it, though.
This is jazz without the jazz. It's rock without the rock. It's indie while being on a major label. Look, man, I appreciate the artistry. No.
Agree to disagree.
We always will with anything involving Tom York. So
fair. All right, man. We got a new one you threw on here from The Sleeping called No Light. You digging this one?
yeah, man, this is the first new album they're about to release since 2010. Apparently, they were big back then, but I just recently discovered them. They were actually apparently they had a song on Guitar Hero 3. I really like this song. What'd you think?
Good for them. I dug it, man. Finally, some post-punk that leans more into the punk than the post.
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
This next one threw me for a loop. It's a new one from Hawken called The Last Lullaby. Way softer than I was expecting. What about you?
Same, man. Instrumental Hawken, though, is always okay in my book. It's not metal. It's barely rock. It's all neat.
Yeah, it's still a vibe, man. And once again, killed it with the album artwork.
Every time, bro.
Oh, man, I feel like they put as much thought into that. Okay, got a new one from Plague Vendor called Window. I thought this one was really good, man. Just like bluesy garage rock with some nice riffs in there. I dug it. What about you?
Feels like the Afghan Wigs, just a little edgier.
Yeah, that's a much better way of putting it, for sure.
I really liked this one.
Got a new one from Bill Murray and Hastings called Livin', Laughin', Lovin'. You're becoming quite the Bill Murray fan, man. You've added a lot of their music these past few weeks.
I think we're coming on to an album here soon.
Yeah,
the song title on this one is fucking hilarious. I'm still unsure if I get this band. Actually, it's interesting enough for me to listen to a few times every time they drop a track. So
yep.
I'm gonna. You know?
Yeah, dude. Same, man. I was liking this song until the sax came in, and then I loved it.
Straight up.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for an album release date. I have not seen one yet. But a band we do have a new album release date for is Bearings. Their new track, Gone So Gone, was released. It's about time we heard something new from them. We reviewed their track Scenery earlier this year, but they've been quiet since. They returned with this catchy little tune and announced that their new album, The Best Part About Being Human, will be dropping August 18th. You excited for it?
Hell yeah, I am, man. This chorus is just catchy as hell.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all they do.
They do that very well.
All All right, man. This one so close to being my song of the week, but not quite. This is
I
a new
knew
one from
it.
LS Dunes called Benadryl Subreddit. We can just wrap up the song title of the year race right now. Nobody is topping Benadryl Subreddit for me. And thankfully, the song is just as good as the title, man. It shreds, it rips, it's fun, it's all of the adjectives. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I absolutely love this band's energy, man. Anthony Green sounds right at home.
Yep.
Like it all just comes together, man.
I'm glad they followed the album up with some new music so fast, too.
Yeah, you don't expect that from most bands, but from the hardest working man in the music business, you almost do. They've played at this little venue that I have yet to go to that I kind of really want to go. There's this venue in Garden Grove. It's like a little park amphitheater.
Hmm.
My brother-in-law, shout out to Logan, went to the 15, 20-year anniversary of Translating the Name or something like that. It could have been their anniversary of the self-titled with Cove, but
Yeah.
apparently they did it all. Anthony was out there singing Cove songs. Cove was out there singing Anthony songs. It was
That's
supposedly
incredible,
like a
dude.
like a
Fuck
like
yeah.
a really great show.
Well, I don't think Seosin's coming through, but Ellis Dunes is on tour and they're going to be coming through this way. I would love to catch Anthony Green live. I have not seen him since like Warp Tour 2006 or 7 with Circus Survive, so it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, the last time I saw Anthony was with Seosin at a Translating the Name uh like anniversary, I think. Maybe, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of shows with them even though he's no longer part of the band. That was a great show in Orange County, but before that we saw him with Circa Survive at Coachella, and it was fucking hot that day. They were
Yeah.
on main stage, fucking hot, bro. I'm talking 105 or something like that, and he was just like, I love how hot it is out here. Roast my little sun babies. And I will never ever forget
He's
it.
always so fucking
I will
weird. Is
never forget it.
Dude, of course not. They played, I think, Child of the Desert at that show, which is
Yep, they
probably the
did.
most fitting place, dude. Is Get Out the best song ever? Because it might be.
Honestly, bro, that live song of Get Out is just seared into my fucking head, man.
It's so good, dude. That song is flawless.
Yep, straight
Um,
up.
Love that. Yeah, I might need to go see them. Moving on, we got a new one from Cliff Diver called Fake. I love how a near-death experience has not slowed them down even a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I could have used a little more brass on this song, but I still loved it. What about you?
I'm getting to be like a giant fan of this band, man. This track is
Of
so good.
course. Yeah, dude, they are consistently great. All right, talk to me about this new one from Falset called Naked Truth.
So I have no clue how I found this band, but they have an interesting sound. I love the heavy parts. I love the poppy parts. I guess that's it, man. I don't really know where I found them, but I previewed this song and I was like, "Whoa, dude, this is a cool song." So I threw it
Yeah,
on.
dude.
What are your thoughts?
It's got that like good old fashioned foot stomping, head banging hard rock sound, but with a little bit more of like a an experimental and melodic approach to it. I like how they like kind of lulled me in before just shredding my face off a few minutes into this one.
Right, exactly, exactly.
It worked for me. All right, next up, we got two new ones from Like Roses called Easy and Splenetic. Full credit goes to my wife for finding this band. I had never heard of them before, but these two tracks, man, got me. They hadn't released new music since 2018 and have still yet to put out a full-length album, but I think they have a few EPs out there. But after hearing Splenetic once, I knew it was going to be in my rotation for a long time to come. Both of these are excellent, but I've had that one on repeat every day since hearing it. So much so that I have no choice but to give it my song of the week. I fucking love these tracks. What about you?
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, man, this is old school emo post hardcore. It like scratches every itch, you know?
Yeah,
I
they
love the
knocked it
heavy.
out of the park.
Yeah, man. They're both of these songs are fucking great. Both of these songs are great.
Would go see them if they come through for sure. Uh,
Yep.
got three new tracks from Pup, How to Live with Yourself, Smokescreen, and Kill Something. I know you're loving these, right?
Everything this band touches is fucking gold, bro. It's pure gold. They have a formula. It's really working for them. It's working for me. It's working for everyone around me. Like, my God, man.
Yeah. I can't believe we missed these a few weeks ago when they came out. I'm glad I found time to circle back to them because Pup just only drops bangers, dude. These are no different. All three are a good time, but Kill Something hits a little different than the other two for me, man. Those
Yes.
melodies, the horns, the vocals, it's all just perfect. I love them.
I love the amount of brass that we are hearing in rock music again. And not all of it is like ska. A lot of it is like artsy saxophone and like
Yep.
trumpets and shit like that, man. It's all really cool, man.
Couldn't agree more. Let's wrap up the singles this week with a new one from Cannibal Corpse called Blood Blind. Talk to me about this one.
Fuck yes. God damn, this opening riff is just so good, man. It sounds like Cannibal Corpse, and it sounds like we're in for a fucking party when their new album drops.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's good and surprisingly catchy, dude. I kept saying subjugate, subjugate, subjugate under my breath all week after hearing this one.
Yeah, man. You know they're just if you haven't seen them live and you have a chance to do it, I honestly I highly recommend it. Even if you're not like a giant death metal fan, just go for them. You don't need to see the openers. They are a party, bro. They are like a genuine party. The entire crowd just gets into it, and this song is just gonna rip live, man.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is. I've never seen them live. If I get the chance to, I will definitely try to make it though.
I've seen them twice. First time was in 2013 at a metal festival in San Bernardino, and they, dude, it was hot that day. It was hot that day, and this guy comes out with his full head of fucking hair, and it's just like, yo, motherfuckers are gonna headbang, and just gets it, bro. It is just nonstop.
And headbang they did.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking awesome. You ready to move on to the albums?
Yeah, man, let's do it. We've got a couple interesting ones.
That we do. Starting off with Young Thug's Business is Business. So we went into this one saying we've never been fans of his music. And I don't know about you, but this album did nothing to change that for me. The production style is what you'd expect from Metro, but there's a certain energy lacking that he's usually able to create for me. I was curious how this one would sound given Thug's current circumstances, but everything about it just feels impersonal and patched together. The features are forgettable, beats are, dare I say, mid, the vocals kind of subpar. Sadly, there was nothing I enjoyed about this one, man. I'm giving it a two. How'd you feel about it?
Metro. Um,
Tom,
man.
don't shoot you.
Oh man, I've never liked a full Young Thug album. I guess I just don't get it, man. The auto tune that he defaults to is really fucking annoying. Metro Boomin though has been having a good couple of years. He deserves to kind of bask in the glory that his beats
Sure.
have provided him. I say that because as the executive producer on this album, I actually liked some of the production on this one, man. Mostly
Fair.
Metro's produced tracks because there's a lot of producers on this, but the tracks that Metro produced, I think, are pretty good. Um, uh, I will say that when Thugger isn't using the annoying auto tune, he's actually got some okay bars, man.
He's got
Like
some good flows.
like the first verse on "Money on the Dresser," I think is great. And then he just defaults to that auto tune, and it's awful. Travis Scott's verse is shitty. It's just not great.
Yep.
Drake's verses on both Parade on Cleveland and Oh You Went are actually I actually really liked those ones.
No,
I
you
did.
don't say
I
you like
did.
slime on him, Nickelodeon. That
I
is not
honestly, bro, that's more fitting than Slaughter Gang. So you know,
I hear that song on the radio every
if
fucking day now. It
if
drives me crazy.
if Drake didn't win a Teen Choice Award for Degrassi, I don't know who would. Um, at 46 minutes, man, it's short enough to listen to, but it still really drags towards the end. The closing track, Global Access, is fucking awful. Just really bad, man. I will not be returning to this. I thought it was going to be worse than it was, though, which I guess says something. I'm going to give it a 3. My standout was With the Racks.
I'm not going to argue on that one point, man. uh, all right. I'm very, very, very excited to hear your thoughts on this new one from Portugal. The man, Chris Black, changed my life. Go.
Alrighty, so you and I were both little, how do you say, iffy on the singles,
Yep.
especially the ones with the features. I've listened to this album a ton of times since it's been released, and I have to say, I really enjoy it. The intro track is interesting. But what I really like about it is that it's followed up immediately by Grim Generation, and it sounds like, aside from the features on this album, that they went back to their sound that they had before they hit it big with Woodstock. There's great bass lines, great soulful licks, some really fantastic like power chordy riffs. Ghost Town has this like in the mountain in the clouds vibe to it, which is a fantastic album of theirs. That keyboard rips all the way through the song. We've got poppy inflections and beats throughout, which they've always had, and I think the Unknown Mortal Orchestra feature works a little better on the album than it did as a single. I didn't dislike that song when it came out. It was just weird that we were getting all these singles with features. The Black Thought feature works just a tiny bit better, but it's still just an odd choice, man. It just seems like they were working with Black Thought just to work with Black Thought.
Hmm.
Uh,
I agree.
I am kind of glad though that they branched out a little bit. I think it's the weakest track on the album though. That bass line on Champ is incredible. Perfect for this album is the closer, Anxiety Clarity, which features Paul Williams. I don't know who that is, but it does feature him.
That it
And
does.
and it just really closes the album out pretty well. It's a fun album. I think it's going to fit into their discography pretty nicely. And as a big fan, I gotta say I did enjoy it. I will say that their live shows and their live in studio album, the Oregon City Sessions, has this real like fucking raw rock and roll sound that seems to get lost in translation during mixing and mastering for their other recorded works. I
Hmm.
wish they would bring a little bit of that energy into their regular albums. Overall, I did really like this record. I'm going to give it a 6. My standout is either Grim Generation or Ghost Town. Couldn't really decide. What'd you think about this one?
We're not too far off. I agree with your notes. I just feel a little differently about the album as a whole. It's a honestly for me, it's just a shame that it's such a feature heavy album because all of my favorite songs on it are the ones where it's just Portugal the Man, like Dummy and Doubt.
Yep.
I like the spirit of collaboration, like you, and the ambition that went into this is impressive, but it doesn't work for me more often than it does. It feels like they're trying to do like a Gorillaz-esque branching out here when all we really want from them is for them to just be exactly who they are. If they want to grow within their sound, fine. But there's moments of that on this album, but I think they're a little too few and far between for me. I was hoping that the singles we heard would kind of make sense within the context of the album when I heard it in full, but they didn't really click for me. And maybe I'm the problem here because I've never been like a giant fan of theirs. You were the one that showed me that Feel It Still is actually the worst song on Woodstock.
It
So
is.
yeah, it is. I agree with you. But I'm still in my infancy when it comes to learning their discography, so take my opinion for what it's worth. But what I like, I know what I like, and a lot of this album just wasn't hitting for me. I'm giving this one a 5 overall. My standout is Dummy.
That's fair. That's honestly really fair. And I've been a fan of theirs for years now. And the Satanic Satanist is my favorite album of theirs. But Evil Friends and In the Mountain are both great albums. And
Mhm.
really, honestly, they made it big, and they have some money now, and they can pay features, and that's fucking awesome. It just it if this was an album and all of these songs existed, and instead of features they did their own verses, it might be a 7 or an 8 for me. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. If this was all just Portugal the Man, I would have had it rated much higher. Or if it was just the songs, like an EP of just the songs that are
Yep.
just them. I will say the vinyl packaging on this one is beautiful though, with that booklet that they gave
It
with
is.
it.
It is
Really,
pretty cool,
really well
man.
done.
It is pretty
Really
cool,
well
man.
done.
Yeah.
It's funny how like whenever I order a vinyl, if I get like a free sticker or like a little postcard thing like I got in the King Cruel thing, I'm like more excited for that almost than the vinyl. It's this weird thing. I don't know
Well,
why.
I mean, honestly, man, that kind of stuff goes a long way, especially when you're paying as much as you are for records nowadays. I
Hmm.
just received, actually in the mail today, Lucid Planet's first album on
Oh,
vinyl record,
damn.
and they sent like these fucking art cards and like a little business card that says you should really actively listen to this because that's how you actually listen to it, and it's pretty cool, man. And then like Proto Martyr from, I think we reviewed their album last week.
Yeah.
They always send a little booklet that has all the lyrics in it with like some really cool art in it, and I love it when you don't know that that's what you're getting. I
Yeah.
really love it when it's a surprise, and shit like that is really cool, I think.
Yep. I love surprises and it's just like the I think it's the whole opening a gift sensation, like
Right,
dopamine rush that you get, and especially if something you weren't expecting is in there. Love
right,
that.
right. Same.
All right, man, let's move on to this new one from Lastlings called Perfect World. This one managed to live up to my expectations for it, and as you know, my expectations for it were very high. This is one of my favorite groups going right now. Their last album is my favorite EDM album of 2020 still. There's just something about the overall sound and vibe of their music that I connect with. I've never heard a bad song from them, and I still haven't after hearing this. This is probably the best two album run from an EDM group this decade for me so far. Both are nearly perfect as far as I'm concerned. I love her voice. I love his production style. I love all of it, man. I'm giving this one a 9. My standouts are Holding Me Like Water and Get What You Want. But in terms of the album cuts, Better Off Without You and then even Noise were pretty high up there for me. But there's not a miss on here for me. What about you?
All right. This album is fucking gorgeous, bro. It's just
Beautiful.
absolutely gorgeous. I actually saw them open for Bob Moses and Rufus Du Sol at the Los Angeles State Historic Park. Fantastic show.
When was this?
2018?
Oh, so way before First Contact was
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I think I only caught like 4 or 5 like transitions into different tracks, but because we got there a tiny bit late, the line was fucking stupid crazy. But it was a really cool show, and was my introduction to Lastlings. They have this way around producing that is like smooth and intentional. We got 5 singles for this record. That is at least 2 singles too many for a project like this. It feels like I've listened to the majority of the
Too
album before
many,
I
yeah.
get to it. Which brings me to my next point. There's not a whole lot of dynamics between the tracks. They,
No.
but they have a lane and they stick to it. They don't merge into any other lanes, and they are fucking dominating this melodic house with a singular vocalist lane the
Hmm.
entire fucking time. I actually really like this album. I'm gonna come back to it for sure. I'm gonna give it between a 7 or an 8. My standout is Gravity.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on the singles, man. Like out of my head. We stopped covering them
We
because I
did.
was like, I don't want this whole album spoiled. I don't think Out of My Head and Gravity needed to end up being singles, but you can't, I don't know. Rollout methods are rollout methods. I kept enough of this one a mystery for me that I still really enjoyed it, but I
Right.
agree with you there.
Right.
All right, we got a new one, or I should say the debut album from Honey Revenge. This is Retrovision. We covered a few of these tracks as singles, and I think even covered a batch of them as an EP a while
Yep.
back.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not realize then that they were going to be releasing a full-length album, but I'm
Me
glad we
neither.
didn't really have to wait long for this because this one fucking hit, man. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad it came around on like a slow enough week that I could give it more attention than I normally would be able to. I've thought they were good since we started covering them, but they get better and better the more that I listen to them. They're a little bit Paramore, a little bit Avril, and I think that combination works really well for a band making a name for themselves in pop punk right now. I'm giving this one an 8. My standout is Airhead, which I've probably listened to like 5 times a day since you added it to the
It's a good
playlist.
song.
Are you enjoying this one as much as me?
Yeah. Look, man, I feel like the comparisons to Paramore are low hanging fruit, but it should be mentioned, right? Devin's voice feels very natural
It's a
lately.
compliment to her voice.
For
That's all I
sure.
use it as.
For sure, yeah. Her voice feels very natural. Her inflections on the record are honestly really endearing. She
Hmm.
yells, she gets soft, she belts it out, and it honestly makes the record for me, man. It's super poppy for sure, and that really
Hmm.
adds to their sound. A lot of time that'll take away from their sound for me on a lot of records, but this one it does not. It adds to it. They're not trying to be pop punk. They're not trying to be anything. It feels like really authentic, even though it's mixed and produced pretty heavily. Um, they sound like every other pop punk slash pop rock band wants to sound right now. And I think
Yep.
that says something. The songs tend to blend together as the album folds out, but they're just dynamic enough for me to enjoy the full run. This is a great debut, and I'm glad I randomly stumbled upon this band as it's been really fun to listen to their music, man. This is really great
So
stuff.
fun, man.
It's somewhere between a 7 and an 8.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think that there's just not like there's only one band that sounds like old Paramore, and that's old Paramore. This is the closest fucking thing I've heard to what that used to be. And it's just insane that they're able to not recreate it, but make it their own in a way that I
Right.
guess is just unique to them. And I really, really appreciate it. I finally hit the follow button. I caved. I'm in.
There
I'm
you
buying
go.
some stock. Uh, all right, let's move on to these new next one. This is 3D Country by Geese. This was an interesting release. Give me your thoughts on it.
Honestly, man, I threw this on here because I was curious. I had listened to like a couple of their songs prior to hearing this album, but other than
Hmm.
that, this was a blind ad. I didn't listen to any of the singles. I don't even know if they had singles for this record. I heard people talking about Geese, listened to a song, was like, great, hit follow, and that was that. That was like a year ago. I'm actually incredibly happy that I did throw this album on here because it turns out I really fucking liked it. It's just enough country to call it adjacent. I think this band has a massive appeal, and if rock music comes back to the radio, I would think that this style would be pretty popular. They're not the first ones to do a country cross with rock and roll, but they're certainly doing this well. Look, man, I love the vocals. I love the piano throughout. I love the choir vocals. I love the way they really don't take themselves too seriously. And I think that's the point that I fucking kept coming back to. Some of these lyrics, and I can't pick one off the top of my head, but sometimes you'd hear something, you'd be like, ah, you know. And there are bands like Black Country New Road, which make like really serious music in which they like have to take themselves seriously. And I love how Geese is like, we don't know who we are. Here's some music. And I think that kind of energy is exactly what rock music needs. This album rocks. I have officially become a fan. I'm going to be listening to their back catalog, and I'm sure we'll cover any other albums they drop in the future. I'm going to give this one an 8, man. Gravity Blues or 3D Country is my favorite. Did you like this one as much as I did?
Not as much as you, but I liked it. So you brought up a good point though. How is there not just a post-punk radio station already?
Right?
Like it's a popular enough subgenre of rock that you would think it would have its own station. Radio's a broken business anyways, but I never heard of this group before, but super campy country infused post-punk is not what I was expecting, even after I saw that the album was called 3D Country. And to be honest, I really still don't know how I feel about it as a whole. I don't hate it. I definitely don't love it. A lot of what they do musically is fun to listen to, but I struggled with the vocals on a few of these tracks. He's not a bad vocalist, just a hard one for me to wrap my head around. It's like Orville Peck meets the Viagra Boys, which now that I say it is a pretty rad combination, but it just hasn't clicked for me yet. I'm giving this one a 6. 2122 is my standout.
It's a good one.
All right, we got a new one from Really Rad Records. This is by Yes Yes a Thousand Times Yes. The album's Super Tiny Infinite Dance. Yo, this one is fucking tight.
Right?
This is not what I was expecting, but I was happily surprised when I hit play on it. It's an album that I have kind of trouble articulating what I like about it, though. It's just got that
Same,
X
actually.
factor. Yeah, they don't sound like Fall of Troy or Pup, but they sound like they approach making music from a similar headspace, which is without rules, with maximum creativity above all. The chemistry between everyone in this group is undeniable when you hear them fucking shred together like they do on Dead Eyes clapping in unison, or any number of other songs on here. Musically, they're incredibly impressive, but they don't try to overwhelm you with it. They do what each song necessitates based on the type of song it is. And we've covered tons of bands that don't know how to do that. So kudos to them for being as measured as possible when creating a batshit crazy album like this. I really appreciated it, and this one will be in my rotation for a while. I'm giving it a 7. My standout is just that first 3 song run. I love
So
those.
good.
How are you
So
feeling
good.
about this one?
Would it surprise you if this came from Really Rad Records?
Oh no, I said a new
Okay.
release from Really Rad
Oh, there you
Records to start this one
go.
off. Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a
man.
feeling.
Just a fucking tight energy, man. It's mathy emo with some core thrown in there, and then like 1,000 wild cards throughout the record. Look, man,
Yep.
I I can't like articulate what's so good about it. You just got to listen to it. It's great. It's somewhere
Yeah,
between a
it's a
7 and an
really
8
fun
for me.
time, man. Do you
Yeah,
have a
man.
standout?
Yeah, Moss and or Menos.
Oh, okay. I thought yours would be Dead Eyes, man. That breakdown shit and that is
They're all
unreal.
good, bro. Buzzing
You're
Still,
correct.
Two Birds, Dead Eyes, Spell Casting. Like they're all good, man.
You are correct. Yeah, I hit follow. We'll be keeping up with them going forward. Um, All right, man, that does it for this week's episode. Join us next week when we will be sharing our favorite albums of the year so far, as well as breaking down a few new albums and a few albums that we missed over the first 6 months of the year. If you liked the show, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. You can find us on Instagram and Reddit. Just search Brandon's Face Pod. Make sure you follow along with the playlist this podcast is based on. You can find the link to that in the show notes. Updated weekly, sorted by genre. That does it for us. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.